Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So nice to have so many people, even those who are wanting to do just at 20%. Yeah. All right. So to find yourself into Wuji posture, I'm going to be distracted by your socks, I think. But those on camera, you're missing this, but I might have to turn the camera over at some. Okay. So again, for those who might be just their second or first time, so Wuji posture is what we adopt when we do a Qigong workout from a medicinal Qigong point of view. And the idea here is we want to align the three dantian. So the first dantian, the lower dantian, is between the belly button and the pubic bone. Middle dantian is the heart and lungs. And the upper dantian is our brain and everything that goes on here, including the pineal gland, our third eye. So the first thing is we bring our feet shoulder width apart. And then there's two ways for the pelvic that's really important here. So if you notice what happens when you go to sit down, there's kind of a loosening in the hips. So find that. It's like there's just a little bit of pelvic tilt forward. The other way that I like this a little bit more is like imagining you got this bowl here that you're holding a ball in. So what it does is it flattens your lower back a little bit, right? So without putting muscles in that, you just want to get that feeling of just sitting and opening this bowl. Okay. Forgot about the feet. So if you let your weight go to the heels, find a place where you're going to fall over. That's one extreme. Find the other extreme at the front. And bring your weight in between those two extremes. A little bit of focus forward. Okay, so between that and the bowl, and then picking up your shoulders, letting them fall down, and then adjusting the upper dantian, the crown, so you have a sense that you're aligning this. And then all your weight is resting into the feet. So that's a very quick review of what the Wuji posture is. So the next thing is that you want to let your natural angles in your elbows and wrists and fingers kind of expand as if you're holding an egg underneath your armpits. So David, let that be a bit more relaxed. See how your hands are here? So when they're by your side, they're here, right? So relax more, relax more.
From the dried up curious going. She's gonna want cheating as I purchased the ball.
Okay, so we'll work on that. We'll work on that. Okay, all right. So let's begin the practice proper by bringing down the heavens. So breathing in earth energy, then heaven energy, and then bringing that down in the front, sweeping through these fields at the front, opening your space, your mind, your awareness to clear practice. Another way you feel into this is that we're releasing the worries of the day, troubles of the day, busyness of the day from the back now. And then one more sweep. Bring that right through the crown, neck, and then into the chest, abdomen, pelvic area, and through the center of the legs. And as you get at the bottom here, imagine that this is now dissolving in the ground, spreading to the front, the back, the right, and the left, and below you. One body length, second body length. Letting your awareness sink in the earth all the way to the core. This is kind of the first step of what we call the setup, the energetic setup, where we allow our body to really rest solidly into our earthly form. The more this is solid, the more we're receptacle for heavenly energy that comes into the crowd. Let's just do that for a moment here. You can have your eyes open or closed. And imagine that through your crown, the wisdom of the universe, the lights of the celestial bodies, comes in into your upper dantian, or like a silvery white light. Now you're completing the circuit. You get a good ground and a crown connected to the other polarity. What we say in Chinese medicine is that we bring these two polarities in the center, in our middle dantian, because this is where we are, the human beings. We're here to connect these two polarities, be whole. And there's a yin and yang interaction here that happens from this, right in our heart. Continuing our exploration of the general healing workout. So imagine that you have these fingers of light extending from your flesh fingers, and then bending forward and using these fingers of light to rake through the inner aspect of your legs, the front of your body, armpits, crossing here into the armpits, the front of the inside of the arms, and at the wrists, gather and release. Starting at the back of the wrists, side of the head, back, then the back itself, letting these fingers reach, then the side and back of the legs, all the way to the ankles, gathering at the ankles and releasing. 2 more times. Breathing in, letting these fingers go to the center of those surfaces, letting your mind grab all the gunk that's in there, the nervousness, the worries, fears, angers, maybe. 1 more time. We're clearing through the channels and the structures that are beyond the channel. So before coming up, imagine reaching with your whole hands now into the earth, this earth that supports us, nourishes us, and bringing that into your lower dantian, and then sealing it in. That's going to get warm quickly, isn't it? That's good. Okay, so we'll start, we'll continue with the counter swing. So if you let your arms come up here, imagine that you're holding bocce balls. So that's the in-breath. On the out-breath, let the arms move around the shoulders. There's also a leg movement here. The hand that's in front. Right focus here. So the chi that we bring in on the in-breath displaces gunk again, and on the out-breath, we let that gunk be released. Let's get you stopping on one side. So bring your weight on that side, drop on that side. When you come up, breathe in once into that leg, second time here, again, and then out. So 1 breath in, second breath in, and out. So this does 2 things. It slows down the movement, and it also helps to focus our attention to the importance of keeping root as we do the exercise. Because now the focus is on the transfer of weight and the breath. So the breath is on the arm movement up here, and then out breath. That's right. So breathe in, out, in, out, in, out. And then to finish the exercise, breathe into the center first. And then on the out breath, relaxing, letting the arms come back to Ujjayi. Now taking a moment to notice where your posture is right now. Notice what's changed from this first set of movements. And then we'll go into frog bouncing on lily pad. So again, here, acknowledging your range of limitation. So normally this one is done with the feet in, if it's possible. They don't have to touch, but narrower stance. So again, for people who are exploring this for the first or second time, let your body fall into the tendons, and then the tendons bounce you back. So it's the letting go in that movement that creates the bounce up. That creates the movement in my arms and my wrists. And it might be that you're going to do a slower or a smaller movement here. That's fine as well. I tend to do quite big movement in this. Letting your breath be free, kind of long-ish. And you want to make sure that your weight is mostly, again, towards the front of the feet, not on your heels. Right? We'll get there in a moment. But what we're activating here in particular is that point in between the feet and the middle of the feet. And that's the first point on the kidney meridian. So I haven't mentioned this to the newcomers yet, but then there's some teachers who will do this for a half hour before they do anything else in Qigong. So once this feels comfortable, on the way up, let your heels come off the floor, and then let them come back down with a thud. Breaking the place down. So that thud now creates a vibration in the bones, right? In the, what we call the sea of marrow in Chinese medicine. That's the bones, the bone marrow, the cerebrospinal fluid, spine itself, and the brain as well. Incidentally, the brain has no diagnostic relevance in Chinese medicine. Just saying. So yeah, so trust yourself. Now you grab a chair if you want to, so you need to sit. There are some chairs that fit adults over there. And you can do it smaller too, right? So yeah.
Find out our
That's right. Yeah. So the question is about where the weight is, right? Yeah. So I'm going to repeat the questions for the benefit of the people on the screen. So yes, the weight is on that spot in between the feet. That's the focus. So now we're activating both through kidney 1, the energy of the kidneys, and through the sea of marrow, the vibration is activating the whole sea of marrow, the kidney energy, dislodging stagnation deep into the bones. So just do it smaller and slower, maybe too. And there's no need for you to do beyond what feels right as well. Okay, so respect your limits. This is really important. I'll say that the first time I did this, I thought I was going to die after 5 minutes. Oh. And that's about 5 minutes now. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. Okay, so returning to frog bouncing in the lily pad, just a more gentle wave. You might feel that your spine responds to that. And nice undulation. And then stopping calmly. And returning to Uji posture. Just noticing what's happening in your body, right? It's a very simple exercise, and yet it moves so much chi, opens up so much in the body. Okay, so bring your feet back together. And stack the bones now. The main purpose of this exercise is to bring focus again on the kidney one point and finding stability in the root. So you're going to find that as you come up, if your focus is up, that you're going to be wobbly. So what I invite you to do right now is to feel, so shift your weight. To go up, you're going to have to shift your weight quite a bit forward. When you feel that sinking that happens, let that feeling in the ground continue as you come up on the heels. And then you stack the bones on top of each other. So coming up into the legs, the knees, the upper legs, hips, and then the spine. You can try bringing your hands out if that helps, or in. The more you're able to keep your focus where your feet touch the ground, the easier this will be. And you bring this down with a thud again, and then loosen it up a little bit. And we'll do that 2 more times. Okay, so again, letting your weight shift forward before you come up. So really, once you get that focus, it doesn't matter where the hands are. So be here, could be here, might be a bit tougher up here. That's how you find out how solid the root is. Very calming. Well done. And then with a thud, dropping the post and shaking it up a little bit. Okay, and then one more time. And come as up as high as feels comfortable. Right? There's no need to go fully up. Finding the place where you're stable, you're calm, grounded, connected. Then dropping once more and shaking. And we're going to do a bit more shaking out now, actually, with an exercise that's one of the funniest thing to do, known as trembling horse. So this trembling horse, yeah, and for all those of you that's your trembling horse is the one place where there's no right way to do the exercise. So we're going to explore it in 2 different ways tonight, just to bring the awareness in. So essentially, we're inviting the body to shake out stagnations. So the first way to explore this is we let our hands come up and then start moving the fingers. And then paying attention to how the fingers want to move. So move them, but also be curious. Like, how do they want to move? And then the joints, knuckles and the hands, wrists. And they may move the same way or different. It's totally fine. Forearms. So being playful, curious. Elbows, upper arms, shoulders. You might find that once you let the spine be involved, that's when that kind of things start to show up and shake up. So if you ever seen a horse in the field shaking it out, not quite the way to do it, but that's the idea. So the opening to shaking out, yeah. They don't look floppy the way we are right now, for sure. But the trembling horse is when we breathe in here, and then we be the horse. Breathe in on the way up, and release. Great. So now, bring the hands up again. Right? Qigong is so serious. Like we're here to heal. Laughter is not a good, yeah, that's right. So now try this. Bring your awareness where the fingers are light, where. Notice like maybe the tingling that might be there. And let the tingling or the sensation start moving your fingers. Right? Again, and if you're not feeling a sensation that it's not wrong to move them yourselves, be curious, like what wants to move? And again, it may or not be the same on both sides. So, and then letting that go into the wrists and forearms, elbows. And then like opening to the body, the way the body wants to shake. It wants to loosen up its tensions. Stuff that happened at work today. The way your teenagers are saying no, mom, or dad. And then be the horse. Breathe in on the way up. And actually, we'll stop at 2 tonight. I don't know why. Okay, and then I didn't, maybe if I didn't make that clear last week, so there's 3 stages in this workout. The first one is what we call it purging, but essentially it's inviting the body to remove stagnations, remove gunk. That's not helpful for our free flow. The second stage is to bring in new energies, to open up some more, but bring qi in, nourish the organs. And then the third stage, the exercises are there to balance. So I like to complete with bringing down the heavens, each segment of these. So now we're completing the purging from the front. So inviting your inner wisdom to complete what we've done through the exercise. In the front, in the back, and right through the center. Charles, this. We're on. Let me know if I'm on. Okay. So the next exercise is known as 5 Yang opening. So I covered that last week. Benefit of the camera. So really what we're inviting here is a flow of qi from the perineum up to Mingmen. The Mingmen is point on the spine below the second lumbar vertebrae. So on the in-breath, the qi will come up here, and then on the out-breath, it comes back down to the front, and then there's a little flip at the bottom. So as we breathe in here, the belly comes out, the qi comes up. As we breathe out, the belly comes in. So this is quite force, right? This is force, this is force. And as we breathe out, that little flip at the bottom is to invite that flip inside, right? So she comes up and then comes down this way. And then as you do this, you'll feel as you move the arm, it's like it wants to do that inside. At least in me. We can always check later on, see how you experience that. Okay, so breathing in here, let the chi come up on your spine, belly up, belly in, chi comes down. So use your legs on this too. It's also okay to let the upper body be a little bit more involved in this. This is a little bit more active yang opening when you bend from the hips. So very active. We're inviting the yang energy of the yang organs. So those are organs that are hollow. So they're like large intestine, small intestine, stomach, gallbladder, and urinary bladder. You guys got this. So let's slow it down a little bit and focus on what's happening in our spine and in the front of the body. So taking a moment to really invite that flow from the perineum to Mingmen, so that gate of vitality on the spine, and then down in the front. And as you bring the belly in, acknowledge that flip at the end here. So again, to complete this exercise, we take an in breath first, and then settle on the out breath. Again, checking into your Wuji posture. Where's your weight resting? What's happening with your hips, shoulders, and head? And then just check in. What's different? From there, we go into 5 yin opening. This one is much calmer. So this is how, when we find out just how flexible our spine is or not. And it doesn't really matter how flexible it is. The speed at which we do this is an invitation to bring your awareness to each of the vertebrae as you go down. And we're going to go down all the way to a crouch to finish this. So you might need a wider stance, right, on the ground. If you can't go that far, that's okay. But you want to, go to a place where you can keep your heels on the ground. So if it's here, that's good. If it's here, that's fine as well. So go back to standing first, breathing in all the way to the top. And then one vertebrae at a time on the out breath, starting with the neck. You might need to cycle to your breath, and that's fine. Letting your spine bend forward. All the way, lower back and sacrum. And at one point, let your legs be involved to bring you into a crouch. All the way to the bottom. So at the bottom here, we reverse the movement. So whether you imagine grabbing a rock, or you can just focus on your feet and then pushing up from the feet, coming back up through the legs first. And then there's a point where you feel the sacrum engaging. Also, you unfurl the spine one vertebrae at a time, cycling through the breath as you need to. Coming up with the arms. The movement in ballet that's very close to this, which I won't pretend that I'm doing. I imagine that I'm doing it. Such a beautiful and elegant full body move. Again, all the way down. And then moving through legs. And one vertebrae at a time. We'll do just 3 of those today. There's a saying in Chinese medicine that you want to know the state of your health or of somebody's health. The out breath, let your arms come down. Check out how flexible their ankles and wrists are. I can't take it back. So that just means that you need to focus on those ankles and wrists and opening them up. So when we do that exercise at first, this motion here, this is one of the best ways to open up the forearms. The people who have carpal tunnel type things, tennis elbow, yeah, this motion. So what we do at first, or you could just do it this way too. This is really good exercise. And then you find a way where you can actually do it. So this this exercise is excellent for the wrists, right? So you can start with that, and then as you get comfortable with this one, things will likely improve. And it's finding, so always our movements, one of the mistakes that we do in the West is more is better. So we tend to push through stiffness in the body or push through pain, but really the best habit is actually to find a place where you can relax first. And when we go into the Wuji posture, that place of relaxation here, already the reason I invite you to come back here is that once you find that posture, chi is already flowing better on its own. In doing so, you're already inviting healing. So you just let your weight go on the heels again, and then relax completely here. And if you're standing, you're not relaxing. And yet many people have their weight on their heels. Most of us, before we learn otherwise, we're here and we're stable, but we're not. Stable is when we go here. And here, so the place, if you're too much forward, same thing will happen. If you relax, you'll fall forward. Right? So in this place here, if your weight is in the right place, you can relax completely, which doesn't mean going into a puddle. It just means that you let all muscles rest in their lowest position. That's when you find out where the tensions are in the body. So our movements become a lot more fluid, a lot more impactful when we learn to move correctly, which means, so we're going to go into the lung exercise now. You bring your arms up. So pay attention to where your elbows are. So if your elbows are level with your wrists, you're using too much muscles. Let your elbows fall, let your shoulders fall. Bring your index and thumbs together. And on the in-breath, the arms come apart in front. So imagine you're just stretching in front. On the out-breath, the hands come back in, all the way to here. For whatever reason, we are told to not touch our hands. Nobody ever explained that to me. I'll just repeat it because I'm a good, obedient little boy from Quebec, because I trust my teacher, actually, in this case. I don't know what you're talking about. So here, when you when you breathe in, right? So you want to make this a movement that is, so if you notice, my elbows are always down here, right? So this motion here, my fingers are relaxed, my elbows are relaxed, thumbs are relaxed, the elbows are relaxed. So when you do that now, you're using the least amount of muscles necessary to do this exercise. When the elbows are here, try it. It's not the same feeling. All of a sudden it feels tense, shoulders up. It's like, oh, so that's what happens when we get hurt, because we move without knowing, we move through this kind of motion, right? And we're not really aware. So this is correct. Okay, so in Qigong, we also work with colors. The colors for the lung, the color for the lungs is white, bright white. Not old t-shirt white, like cloud white. Or anything that's like a bright sunny snow day white. That kind of luminescence. On the out breath, what we let go of is experiences of grief, sadness, maybe even guilt and shame that no longer serve us. Breathing in white. And if you want, you can use the healing sound for the lungs, which is on the out breath. Let's do 2 more of these. Now welcome that white on the next breath, in-breath, right into your lungs. And then any excess can go to the large intestine. So that's the paired organ to the lungs. And if there's any excess, we bring it down into the lower dantian. The lower dantian, the importance of the lower dantian here, this is where the kidney energies are, our next organ we're working on. And the kidneys are sometimes referred to as the battery pack in our life. So that's where we derive all the fundamental energies to all our processes in the body, especially growth and sexual maturation, reproduction, all that. So this exercise begins with a hand in front here, and then wrapping your fingers around your thumb and placing this on your spine or the same side body, same kidney as this hand. You might want a slightly wider stance here. So let's go through the movement first. So turning to the side of your arm, bending down, so into that leg, the weight is there. At the bottom, transfer your weight to the other leg. Breathing in at this point now to here. Now, this is one of the more important parts. This energy that we've grabbed from the bottom, you let it transfer down your arm, across your shoulders, and into that kidney. And we go into the out breath, out breath. At the bottom, in breath. Transfer the weight to the other side, come up, in breath. Let the chi transfer down your arm, out breath. At the bottom, gather deep blue from the ocean, the water element. Bring that deep blue up and let it transfer into the kidney. So that's the healing color for the kidney meridian, kidney organ. So again, this beautiful transfer of weight here. Really bring focus on that root. Kidney one, rooted in the ground. Deep blue, gathered from the ocean, transferred into your kidney. Let's do one. On this one, once you've transferred the chi, return to the center. And from here, change sides. Breathe in if you need to, and then go down on the other side. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then turn. And the healing sound for the kidneys is churi. It's a 2-syllable. Churi. 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 Three. Churi. Let's do 2 more to this. Churi. So one more scoop of deep blue. Really concentrating on letting this be transferred in the kidney. Return to the center and narrow your stance as you need to. Returning to Wuji posture. I don't know if it's because it's 10 degrees outside, but it's super warm today. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, on the way here on CBC, they're saying that in Canmore, the forecast is 13 for tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, they do get the Chinooks, right? But 13 degrees. Well, what?
Starting over for snow.
What all snow? It's like 50 centimeters at the most, 60. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's yeah. Okay, so from the water element, we're going to go into the wood element of the liver. I'm doing this because I don't know, it feels good. It's not where we're going. But you're good students, I see. Good. Yeah. So that. Okay. So the movement of the legs here is kind of particular to, or yeah. What do you say? It's special anyway compared to the other ones. So what you want to imagine you're doing is drawing a smile below your feet, right? So if you notice, I'm not doing this. I'm exaggerating right now. I'm coming up, right? So it's not this. So pay attention to your center line, right? It's here, up, down, up. That's it, better. The heels stay down throughout. So notice what's happening with the upper body. It's the place that's it, better. That's it. Good. So you want to just draw that smile below. Right? However, you imagine that. But essentially, I'm dropping down, up. So, yeah, that's right. Yeah, this one would use fine. Okay, so let's stop. So on one side. So on that side, draw the chi in. On the other side, push up. So if you know about physiology, the liver is continuously breaking down molecules, making new molecules. So it's a lot more complex than to focus. The exercise kind of acknowledges that, because we're not focusing on either part of this on either gathering or releasing. We're doing both. So the exercise then, or the breathing, is 3 in, in, and then 3 out. Breathing in the bright green of spring. Breathing out anger, irritability, annoyance. Beautiful green on the in. Anger type things on the way out. And the healing sound is chew, 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 in. Chew, 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 chew. And sometimes some teachers will say, make angry eyes on the way out. Chew, 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 because the eyes are the window of the liver. Chew, chew, chew. Really releasing. David likes that. Shoo, shoo. It's okay to do that on your own. Don't do that towards your partner. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Or do it together towards the wall. Shoo, 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 shoo. And I'm going to complete this with a similar arm movements, like same side, as if you're going for this jolly walk. So one of the herbal remedies for the liver is known as free and easy wanderer. Just walk. And so imagine being that free and easy wanderer right now, going down the path. You're released irritability that no longer serves you. All of a sudden the day is way sunnier. But there's something wrong because the sun is on the ground. That's the sun doing on the ground. It's supposed to be this beautiful day. I just released all this anger, and the sun is there. Pick up the sun. Okay, so the sun, of course, is a metaphor for the fire element of the heart. And of course, the sun doesn't belong here. So we're going to breathe in, turn to one side, and turn the foot to that side. and bring that sun into the sky. So here, pay attention that you're not doing any of this. You just bring your arms up. And that elbow now is quite high. So this is a bit different. We're opening up this side of the arm, which is the where the meridians of the heart and small intestine flow right into the little finger. And then, so that's the in breath. Out breath, we bring the out breath right through the heart, clearing stuff from the heart, and we'll get that in a moment what it is. And then we go to the other side, pointing the foot on that side, breathing in, breathing out. In. Healing color for the heart is a shade of red. Red can be a bit intense. For some people, they'll work with the chakra color, the green. I like wild rose. It has a very gentle, light red, so pink. Well, the healing sound is ah, but we'll do it at the whispered level. I just had that thought. So we use audible level, whispered level, and mysterious level. I'll get into those some other time, but the whispered level of the voice is for the mental, emotional. So it's really appropriate for the heart here. Apart for all organs. And then what we're releasing from the heart is expressions of joys that are out of balance. So that could be the lack of joy, which is more like depression, or overjoy, which is more like manic or hysteric. Like nervous energy where people laugh all the time. Weathering the color of your choice on the in-breath and pushing out of balance joy on the out-breath. Do one more each side. Returning to center with the last out breath. And we release any extra heat that we may have gathered. So breathing in here and then breathing out, releasing. So the last exercise is for the spleen, the earth element. So I want to cover the movement here because this is really important as well. From the hips, so you're going to turn the whole upper body around here. So I'm inviting you to pay attention that you're not doing, so if you pay attention to my knees here, I'm exaggerating, you don't want to do this. You want to turn from here. And then you can kind of lock it in by dropping into that leg on that side. And coming back up, and then, yeah. So then once you get here, once this is locked in place, the rest is from the upper body. So we're actually twisting the spine on this from the hips upward all the way to the neck. Okay, now we bring the arms in. Form. So this is the hand mudra for the upper dantian. So the mind, our mental capacity, is the one thing that the spleen, pancreas, is associated with. We breathe in here, bringing in golden yellow. On the out breath, turn to that side, drop into that leg, and then go into the upper body movement. All the way out. Breathing in golden yellow as you return to center. Bringing your hips first, and then upper body. Here, what we're letting go on the out breath is worry. So lack of trust, obsessive thinking, fretting about things. So you're looking through that triangle throughout the exercise. One more time each side. And returning to center. And then bringing the triangle so that now it's shining. Light of the heavenly bodies right through your crown, taking 3 long breaths in and out. Third out breath, let your arms settle back down. We're going to go right into bringing down the heavens, completing tonic side of the exercise. Set. Going front. Back. We're going to slow down the third one here. Really acknowledging these internal structures that we have, beginning with the brain, the pituitary, hypothalamus, and pineal gland, thyroid and parathyroid, and heart and lungs and thymus, liver, gallbladder, stomach, spleen, pancreas, intestines, kidneys, reproductive organs, bladder, and all the way down. We'll do one of the balancing exercises. This one is the most common. I don't think we did that last week. It's known as Guangdong strokes his beard. So it's the idea that the hands will be coming down this way. And this is known as the fire cycle of the microcosmic orbit. The microcosmic orbit is the exercise. And you'll see that elsewhere. The Guangdong strokes his beard is just to focus on the hands that are coming down this way in the front, because there's other flows. This main flow that we learned first, imagine holding a pearl in between your longest fingers, and you put that inside your body, in the perineum. And on the in breath, you bring that up through the spine, the neck, back of the head, down the front. Now, if you put your tongue behind your teeth, the upper teeth, pearl connects there. So the chi connects there and it comes in or down the front of the body, say like 5 centimeters inside. Breathe in. And one more. So this balances the yang energy of the governing vessel. That's one traveling along the spine. The yang vessel with the yin vessel to the conception vessel that travels the front. These are the two most fundamental vessels in the body. And when we study Qigong and the way that the fetus is formed and how we start from energetic interaction of a sperm and ovum, these first two flows appear like within the first few cell divisions. They're there, like right from conception, essentially. Okay. So to complete our practice, we're going to bring colors into the Wei Qi fields, the protective fields we have around our body. If you remember last week, I talked about how there's the first one, physical field is about this far away from the body. And then you got the next one, the mental, emotional field. And beyond that is the spiritual. As you breathe in, to bringing down the heaven, focus on gathering white, the brightest white you can imagine. And as your hands come down, pat this white around your body to about 10, 15 centimeters around all the surfaces. Color for the mental, emotional field is winter sky blue. Flame blue is another description of that blue. Bright sky blue of the winter. Packing that on the outside of the white to about 30, 45 centimeters or so around you. Last color is light pink of rose quartz that we pack on the outside of the blue. This one can go quite far. It is said that masters can extend that for miles. We'll settle with 1 or 2 meters there. If you feel you can do it further, it's fine. What we're doing right now is we're recognizing that we're more than just a physical body, that these fields are always there. And the more we're willing to acknowledge them, the more they become part of how we present ourselves to the world. So I like to complete by feeling these fields one more. So breathing in as I imagine my hands traveling through these fields. And then on the out breath again. Recognizing this extended version I'm willing to recognize. And we always complete our practice with the Buddhist salutation. So there's a Taoist salutation. The Buddhist is the one, the prayer, prayer hands. Thank you very much for being here tonight. And if you want to recognize the other members in the room too, that's fine.